Whether it be the result of a suspenseful build-up or simply just the abject terror that their appearance brings, nothing manages to make us pull our best Troll 2 oh my god impressions quite like a jaw-dropping monster reveal. So, I'm Ewan, you're watching What Culture Horror, and here are 10 more horror movies with the most shocking monster reveals. Number 10. The Monstrosity, Smile. While Smile's grinning antagonist technically appears in many forms throughout the 2022 horror, director Parker Finn saves the unveiling of the creature's true appearance until the film's climactic sequence. And Finn's method proves to be an inspired choice, ratcheting up the suspense levels to the highest point imaginable before letting rip with one of the most harrowing monster reveals we've seen in recent years. After being plagued by the smiling entity for the film's duration, protagonist Rose Cotter seemingly escapes her tormentor after burning down her family home with the creature inside. Unfortunately for Rose, she's hallucinated the whole thing. She's actually still trapped in the house with her smirking tormentor. After that, the monstrosity rips apart its latest appearance, a grotesque visage of Rose's mother, to reveal its nightmarish true form. Cotter is confronted with a vision straight out of the deepest circle of hell, a hideous skinless face with multiple grinning jaws leering at her like a hyena staring at a wounded gazelle. Proceedings somehow get even more disturbing from there as the monster levers Rose's jaw wide open and forces its hideous frame down her throat. Yeah, it's an unforgivably macabre sequence and one of the most shocking monster appearances in recent memory. Number 9. The Coga The Relic. There's nothing really all that nuanced about the Coga's arrival on the scene in 1997's monster horror The Relic. It's more a chaotic medley of screams and severed heads, reserved for the most entertaining creature features out there. Chronicling a bloody killing spree at Chicago's Field Museum of Natural History, the central subject of Peter Hyams' monster flick is the Coga, a cold-blooded chimeric beast originating from South America with a penchant for decapitation. The monster strikes from the shadows for the film's majority, steadily ramping up the shock factor for the Coga's eventual unmasking as it carries out an ambush in the museum's main hall. Using a medley of CGI and practical effects that included multiple people operating the creature's appendages, and hell yeah, I love that stuff, the first clear revelation of the Coga's appearance is gloriously over the top. Featuring muddy green scales, glowing wide eyes, and a terrifying pair of razor-sharp tusks, the beast combines the physical characteristics of various animals to form the most formidable apex predator imaginable. It's an epic visual spectacle, culminating in a reveal of the highest order as audiences finally get a good look at Hyams' mutated antagonist. The shock factor doesn't even end with the appearance of the creature either. Audiences also get an almighty surprise when they learn that the monster was once human, an anthropologist from the museum who mutated into the creature after drinking a mysterious concoction. Number 8. Bagul, Sinister. Acclaimed by many Fright fans as one of the scariest films of the 2010s, it's hardly surprising that 2012 Sinister features an unforgettable monster reveal, and also one of the coziest pieces of knitwear in horror history. I mean, just look at Ethan Hawke here. Dude is looking cozy. Scott Derrickson's supernatural horror follows Hawke's Elliot Oswalt, a true crime writer who moves his family into a home where the previous tenants were mysteriously murdered. Oswalt soon discovers a box of Super 8 videotapes in the attic containing footage of various families being brutally done away with in a variety of, well, let's just say, creative ways. Morbidly conscious that this development could revitalize his flagging writing career, Oswalt doggedly searches the footage for a glimpse of the individual responsible for all these heinous crimes. As he watches a tape dubbed Pool Party 66, a delightful number featuring a family being drowned in a swimming pool, Oswalt suddenly sees a chilling reflection in the water. A fearsome sight stares back at Elliot through the screen, a pale face framed with shoulder-length black hair, featuring dark slashes where the eyes and mouth should be. As Oswalt moves in for a closer look at this harrowing individual, his projector suddenly bursts into flames, apparently also too terrified to continue producing an image of the mysterious figure in question. It's an eerie reveal for the franchise's big bad, effortlessly setting the stage for the terrifying events that follow in short order. Number 7. The Creatures, A Quiet Place. Unlike many of its contemporaries on this list, 2018's A Quiet Place doesn't waste any time at all in delivering an unforgettable monster debut. After the world is taken over by sightless predatory extraterrestrials possessing a preternatural sense of hearing, the early goings of John Krasinski's popular horror outing sees the Abbott family silently searching for supplies in the midst of an abandoned town. Youngest child Bo soon discovers a light-up toy spaceship, but unbeknownst to his parents or siblings, the boy retains the batteries that would operate the toy's speakers. As the Abbotts carefully make their way home, Bo surreptitiously slips the batteries into his new plaything, immediately producing a loud noise that instantly attracts one of the aliens. Krasinski's Lee Abbott desperately rushes towards his oblivious child in a last-ditch attempt to save him, only to see his young son swiped away by a creature in a heartbreaking instant. Bo dies mere seconds before his father can even reach him. It says a lot that this stands as one of the most jaw-dropping monster reveals of the decade without actually revealing the creature up close in all of its horrifying glory. Number 6. The Pale Man, Pan's Labyrinth. Venturing into the realms of gothic horror, one of cinema's most memorable monsters can be found in the confines of Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. The 2006 film sees lead protagonist Ophelia encounter a magical faun in an ancient stone labyrinth against the backdrop of Francoist Spain, which kinda goes without saying, wasn't really a good time for anyone. The faun believes the young girl is the reincarnation of a mythical princess, charging her to carry out 3 tasks to allow her to return to her own kingdom. So what does this all have to do with an unforgettable monster introduction? Well, Ophelia's second task is to retrieve a dagger from the lair of a terrifying child-eating being known as the Pale Man. Viewers are introduced to Doug Jones's pallid monster in what can only be described as the most unsettling circumstances imaginable. Ophelia is greeted by the sight of a pale, eyeless man who eerily sits motionlessly at a table, a pair of eyeballs resting on a plate before him. The initial reveal of the Pale Man's cadaver-like appearance is traumatic enough in itself before Ophelia duly manages to wake him up. Pressing the eyeballs into his palms before placing outstretched hands on his forehead, the monster lurches towards Ophelia, howling demonically before bloodily decapitating 2 of her fairy sidekicks with his teeth. For a film that allegedly isn't even a full-blown horror, this gloriously unsettling reveal is straight up nightmare fuel. Number 5. The Mother Barbarian. Zach Cregger's 2022 film Barbarian follows the tribulations of 2 strangers, Georgina Campbell's Tess and Bill Skarsgård's Keith, who double-book the same rental property one night, blissfully unaware of the nightmares lurking below the building. Tess soon discovers a blood-chilling room in the basement that houses a mattress, a camcorder, and a bucket. Not exactly 5-star Airbnb material, it goes without saying. The same basement also contains a hidden corridor with a flight of stairs disappearing into the Earth's dark depths. Despite Tess's pleas to just nope, don't go in there, Keith decides to investigate further, because of course he does, merrily descending a stairway that could be easily mistaken for the entrance to hell itself. After Keith shockingly fails to return, Tess follows to ascertain his fate. She soon finds her Skarsgårdian friend, but the horrors are only just beginning. An appalling figure soon looms out of the darkness, a naked, monstrously deformed visage screaming like a demented banshee. Smashing Keith's skull open like an enraged gorilla trying to crack open a coconut, the creature then turns its focus to Tess, howling demonically before the screen cuts to black. Arguably, this sequence's most impressive attribute is just how scary it is without actually revealing the mother's face in detail. Not to worry though, because that delightful visual soon comes aplenty in the movie's second and third acts. Number 4. The Predator. No list on this topic could be complete without mentioning 1987's Predator. While the Arnold Schwarzenegger-led effort is admittedly not a full-blown horror movie, because it's a bona fide action classic, potentially even the greatest in the genre, it still contains the unforgettable reveal of one of cinema's most iconic monsters and features a plot that wouldn't seem out of place in most horror films. Director John McTiernan steadily builds suspense throughout the movie by waiting as long as possible to reveal the alien's full appearance. The Predator, played by Kevin Peter Hall, doesn't remove its futuristic mask until the climactic showdown. After the film's titular antagonist hunts down and decimates his squad of soldiers, Schwarzenegger's Dutch Schaefer eventually realizes that his pursuer stalks its prey using thermal imagery. The Major then uses a thick layer of mud to camouflage his heat signature and lures the Predator into an ambush with that brilliantly iconic war cry. Impressed at Dutch's resourcefulness, his alien foe deems him a worthy adversary, removing its helmet to fight him face to face and precipitating one of the most memorable monster bows of all time. Schaefer is confronted with a set of features that only an extraterrestrial mother could love. A hideous mess of clammy flesh, razor-sharp tusks, and malevolent yellow eyes that coldly survey him before the Predator lets out a blood-curdling roar. Frankly, Arnie's immortal one-liner is putting things mildly. A jarring monster reveal of the highest order, and one that lays bare McTiernan's genre subversion perfectly. Number 3. Jean Jacket. Nope. Jordan Peele's 2022 outing Nope centers around Jean Jacket, an extraterrestrial entity terrorizing the skies of California. The director cunningly leads his viewers to believe that said entity is an alien spacecraft during the film's early goings, ratcheting up the shock levels for the eventual reveal of the UFO's true nature. After Jean Jacket descends on theme park Jupiter's Claim, the unfortunate guests are seemingly sucked up into the vessel. Regrettably, human experimentation and questionable probing soon proves to be the least of their concerns. As they are drawn headfirst through a slimy, fleshy tunnel, the blood-curdling realization sinks in. This isn't a ship. Jean Jacket is actually a predatory organism, and the park visitors are slowly being pushed inside its digestive system, with the relentlessly claustrophobic cinematography adding a new level of horror to the proceedings. The simplistic nature of Jean Jacket's origin is what makes this reveal such a shocking one. There's no complex ulterior motive or supernatural explanation behind the UFO's true nature. It's just a hungry guy descending on its prey. It was pretty wise to prepare for anything when the parkgoers were sucked up into the organism's maw, but the visceral sight of a group of screaming people being digested alive in the darkness still felt unfathomably horrific. Oh god, I love Nope. Amazing, brilliant movie. Can't wait to see what Peele cooks up next. Number 2. The Thing. The Thing, 1982. John Carpenter's The Thing is acclaimed as one of the greatest horror films ever made, and for just reason. The 1982 offering follows a group of Arctic researchers manning a remote facility who encounter the titular thing in question, an extraterrestrial being that assimilates and imitates any organism unfortunate enough to cross its path. Unfortunately for all you dog lovers out there, the status quo does not spare our furry friends. After the film's eponymous entity camouflages itself as a husky in the early goings of Carpenter's iconic outing, it's then kennelled alongside the station's sledge dogs, precipitating a hellish development in short order. The Thing soon morphs into a grotesque creature with spider-like tendrils, the dog's face splitting open to form a bloody triple-jawed monstrosity. It begins to violently absorb the howling huskies, alerting the station's occupants to the abhorrent proceedings unfolding, and yeah, that face says it all. Arriving on the scene, the scientists are confronted with a sight gruesome enough to give Freddy Krueger nightmares. The alien has transformed into a pulsating glob of bloated flesh, complete with a grotesquely deformed dog skull that screeches menacingly at the horrified lookers-on. A combination of gunfire and flamethrower swiftly dispatches the blood-chilling dog thing, but the damage is already done in terms of shock factor. And number 1, the Xenomorph, Alien. Arguably the most iconic monster reveal in horror history burst out of chests and onto screens worldwide when Ridley Scott's Alien debuted in 1979. Exploring the ruins of a derelict alien spacecraft, John Hurt's Kane was the first unlucky character to discover why mysterious egg-filled chambers should immediately be nuked from orbit. A nightmarish vision explodes out of one of the eggs and penetrates the helpless Kane's helmet, attaching itself to the Nostromo officer's face. Despite this hellish turn of events, when everyone gets back on the ship, it seems as if things might be improving. The creature detaches itself from Kane, leaving him apparently apparently unharmed. There's a renewed sense of optimism, or denial, depending on how you look at things, as the crew sit down to a final dinner before returning to stasis. An aura that swiftly evaporates following one of the most disturbing monster introductions ever put to screen. Hurt's character suddenly coughs and begins convulsing, howling in agony at an unseen affliction. As the crew labor to hold their stricken companion down, crimson gore explodes from Kane's chest, swiftly followed by a nightmarish vision, a small, blood-soaked xenomorph. The alien looms menacingly in the appalled crew's direction before skittering away into the bowels of the ship. As far as monster reveals go, Alien retains royalty status to this day.